Hi guys, right, this is an independent review on GT intake. I've got my 308, I've got my little assistant down there, and yeah, we're going to take out the OEM air filter stuff, stick in the GT intake. Now, I'm going to do this review with a before and after dyno test, because actually GT intake, there's three benefits they tout. One is better noise. Everyone on the forums seems to agree that you get better induction noise, that's great. Better throttle response, that's the other thing that people agree with. So to be honest, I'm sure we're going to get that. But the third thing that GT intake say is that you're going to increase the power in the engine. And actually the only stats available online are their own stats. There are no independent punters that have done a dyno run before, done the change, and then done a dyno run after to see the difference. I asked GT Intake if they're up for supporting me with this experiment. They're not. They offered me a 10% discount voucher which expired when I came to use it, and they wouldn't change that. So absolutely no support from GT Intake. So this is truly independent. Yeah, let's see where this goes. All right. Okay, I'm here with the pug and a very poorly baby. He wasn't planned to be here, but had to come along for the ride. It's alright, start them early. So the idea here is we do the dyno test. We're here at Dyno Days in Nuneaton, and we're going to do a dyno run before fitting the GT intake solution. Now it's interesting, they said, well, no, to get the benefit you've got to do the dyno run back to back. You can't take the car off the ramp whilst you're doing the mods. Hell, they might even wanted me to stand on one leg. So no, we're going to do a real test, and we'll obviously try and come back when it's a similar temperature. We'll be back in a few weeks. Anyway, let's see how it goes today. So bye Oliver, bye. Okay, the car's in for its first run. Just a summary of the changes it's had done. It's a stage 1 map by Plug One Off, a fuel cam done by Plug One Off as well, and an air tech intercooler fitted, so that we can keep the benefits on the whole track day. Right, starting now. Well, that was a bit disappointing, wasn't it, Ollie? It was indeed. So we'll got a printout here. I'm expecting between, I don't know, 295 and 315, I guess, somewhere in between, with the changes that I did at Plug One Off, the remap and the fuel cam. But I got a whopping 276 bhp. 304 on the torque. Yeah, so a bit disappointed really. I need to talk to Plug One Off, figure out why it's so low. And well, we'll continue this experiment anyway. So we are where we are, 276. As before, we're now going to fit the GT intake, and then we'll go from there. And we'll be back. Right, so let's look at what you get in the box. My little assistant's there is going to help me as well unpack the box. So this is the box of GT intake that you get. That's the package. I got it delivered straight to France because I'm French and I was in France, so that saved me some duties and shipping, which is great. I didn't get the heat shield, which I'll talk about later, but let's see what we've got. So what we've got here, we've got some pipes, fittings, pipes. Don't know what this is. Look at this. Okay, catch can, good stuff. Oh, I like that. That looks cool. That looks cool actually. We've got air filter. No instructions. Useful. Okay, I found a video online, so I'm going to start with that. Shame they didn't include the link to the video on a piece of paper or something though. Anyway, they've asked me to start by trying to remove this section here. so I'll get on with that. Okay, thanks for my little helper. Thanks, mate. The first part was to get the airbox out, and that's not too bad actually. No, it's alright. Big hole. Brilliant. Okay, so on the next part of the video, telling me about the catch can and installation. GT Intakes say that these fittings here come with O-rings to create a seal, but they don't exist in the pack. And in the instructions about the assembly, it doesn't mention this at all. So I can only imagine, looking at this, you've got the one is in, one is out. So I can imagine you don't want anything getting out. So I'm just going to round that in here, like so. Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know. It's not in the instructions. So what do you do? Right, I've installed the catch can as they wanted. I had to use PTFE tape because they didn't provide me with the O-rings. But actually that's alright. We just attached it with a cable tie there. Actually that's pretty solid. All good. Okay, the intake pipe's gone. Pipe here's gone. Got a fair amount of space. Nice. Okay, so I didn't really enjoy that installation process. I followed their instructions, which did most of it, apart from this long pipe here and a couple of others. I contacted support and they sent me another couple of YouTube links. But that's a shame that it's not part of the package, which kind of slowed down the installation process for me. Also a couple of duplicate clips missing, actually about 5 missing, so I had to go and get some myself. Not the end of the world, but again it kind of just ruined the enjoyment of it really. Anyway, all good, let's see how it gets on. Okay, so I've taken her on her first spin after installing the GT intake, and okay, well the things that they state, increased throttle response, I'd agree with that. The induction noise, does that put a smile on your face? Doesn't matter if you're 48 or 28, it definitely puts a smile on your face, so that's good. And we're going to have to go back and get the dyno test again to see if that made a difference, so we'll do that in the coming weeks. So now just one final note on GT intake. You'll notice I don't have the heat shield. The reason being is I went to a track day with some other guys from the UK and had a feel of the heat shield that they had installed, and actually what you find is, because the heat shield's made out of metal, what happens is the heat transfers from wherever you attach it to in the engine to the heat shield. So actually the heat shield was so hot I could cook an egg on it, which kind of defeats the object, because in reality you're encasing, like an oven, the air intake, which defeats the whole freaking point. Now if GT Intake develops something with a thermal break, like a rubber or something between the way it's connected, I don't know how it's connected, then that will stop the heat transfer potentially. But until then, I'm definitely not going to worry about that piece. Now people will state that oh, this is a hot air intake, yay, well that's funny, but actually guys, what it is it's same true for your radiator. As you're driving along, the pressure is lower down the bottom of the engine. So what happens is, as you're driving along, it's not that the air is blowing onto your radiator, is that the lower pressure air is being sucked down. So actually it's been the hot air is sucked through the radiator and down to the bottom, and the same will be true for the air around here as well. So the air goes in here and then the hot air gets sucked down, so actually all of this hot air gets sucked down. That's optimized with the under tray on, of course. So yeah, you know, I could put a turbo blanket on for when you're sitting at traffic lights and stuff, because of course heat will move around here, and so yes, at traffic lights I can imagine it's a hot air intake for sure, but as soon as you're driving, no, definitely not. Alright, well, that's me for tonight. So we're back at Dyno Days, 4 weeks on. It's 16 degrees, so a couple of degrees cooler. So GT intake should have a benefit of that, and of course we're leaving the bonnet open, so that it's not a hot air intake. Let's see how she gets on. Okay, results are in. So, between when the initial run was, on the 23rd of August, and today, the 13th of September, there was 1 degree difference. It was 1 degree cooler today, so it's in GT intake's favour. Just a reminder, my last run, I got 276 bhp with a torque of 303. Right, and today I'm going to take the median result out of the 3 runs today, and that came in as, and I can't believe it, but I do feel it, 296. So that is a whopping, what's that, 76, 86, 96, that's 20 more due to an induction kit only. Blimey. But oh my gosh, I can feel it, really can. I took to Donington Park the other night, and I was up the office with Beamers, and it was brilliant. I did love it. Bloody hell, I wasn't expecting that much of a difference. Holy moly! Right, well, I'm gonna bring this up at the end of the video. It's gonna be, it's got August run on here as well. My highest one actually got 300.9 brake. So the conclusion is that you know, if you ask yourself, will GT intake make a difference to my car, to your car, the answer is yes, or at least it's going to remove, it's a bottleneck, right? The airflow is definitely a bottleneck in these cars, just demonstrated that. Now, would I have seen as much of a benefit if I hadn't done the remap beforehand? Probably not. But actually, the GT intake say the same thing. So, some of this completely independent test is absolutely worth it. Go buy one.